Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to another Panel B. This one is going to be a memorable Panel B. I can already feel it, mainly because Julian Edlow and Steve Buchanan braved the Arctic blast. Steve, do your bones still work? How are you feeling? Are you okay?
I didn't take the train today because I didn't want to wait outside, so I took an Uber here. I usually take the train in, whatever. I took the Uber in.
What temperature did you request they set the Uber at?
You know what was amazing? My guy's car was 81.
The
it
car
said
was an 81?
81.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Florida weather.
Right. It was a perfect theme. And I heard Slates calls me soft in the other room. So just remember, I can hear you. And I don't care. I
don't think he cares that you can hear
No,
him.
I don't care. But I wasn't going to stand outside in the cold. I absolutely hate the cold. There's like nothing worse on this planet. Like, you know, kids are starving in like whatever country. I don't care. It's cold out.
Okay.
Yeah, nix that one. All right. Great preview there from Julian Edlow, though. We will be doing it's more of a game than I would call a stack, but we'll do
True.
Florida Man all-time stacks. We'll each have 4 statements regarding Florida Man. 3 will be correct, or 3 will be true. 1 will be false. We have to try and guess each one's false sentence. These are going to be hilarious. They will likely be mostly edited by the time you hear them. We'll see, though. Maybe we can slip them in. We will try. But before we get to that, let's talk about upcoming picks that we like for Sunday. We also have a Thursday night game that we want to talk about here. Another divisional matchup, which is always fun. So why don't we start there? We'll talk both the betting lines and the DFS. We have Steelers at Browns. Browns, fresh off of pushing at -3, are now -2.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over-under is 40. Steelers on the money line +130. Browns are -148. So Bukes, because you went on the other side of that push.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling about this line, which you cannot push because it's a half a point?
Right. This game stinks. Like, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, do you really
for
feel
a Thursday night game? I don't think this
It's
one's
not.
that bad.
We've seen a lot worse.
This one has
I'll
some
give you
star
that.
power.
But here's the thing. I think the lines are set so perfectly that I can't really decide on either one.
Don't suck up to DraftKings now.
Yeah. So there you go. Shout out. Good job, guys. But like the over-under at 40, that's tough. That's a really tough number, I feel like. I don't really feel one way towards the Steelers. I don't feel one way towards the Browns. I think this is a really tough game to figure out. But the first thing that jumped out as me is that still giving a lot of love to a Browns team that really didn't look that great against Buffalo. So for me, the value is still on the Steelers at plus money. I would much rather take that than laying down money on 148 for the Browns, because even though the game ended as it did against the Bills, it wasn't a convincing win.
Sure.
It was one that I was like, okay, they're back. They got things going. Like, they still can't get the ball to Odell Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
They can run the ball, which is fine, but if they're not running the ball, it just looks like a mess. So I think the Steelers plus 130 is the way to go in this one.
Worth noting also, Steelers plus 2.5 is -103.
Yep.
Whereas Browns -2.5 is -120. So this might even get to -2.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh is 5-1-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. This is a pretty decent team against the spread this season. And Cleveland 2-6-1 against the spread. I can't put a ton of stock in that Buffalo game just because both teams were just like
a mess.
It was a mess. But the Browns had all those chances at the goal line. The Bills had their own chances. Like,
I will note, after getting chastised for it, you guys are saying Bills and talking about the Bills way more than I am.
True.
We didn't talk to Slates about that.
Okay,
though.
the most recent opponent of the Browns played terribly in the last game. Nobody won that game, which makes it perfect.
Certainly
that
not
it was
the
a
viewer.
push
Yeah.
in terms of the spread, because it was just back and forth nothing. I think the Steelers have shown more this season, and I thought that this game, I do not think this is a perfectly set line. Not a shot at DraftKings Sportsbook, because every sportsbook has it around 2.5, 3, and I think that Pittsburgh plus 130 on the money line is easy value, not necessarily an easy win because it's a short week divisional game on the road, but certainly value on Pittsburgh's side at the plus 130. And if you just want to go with how Pittsburgh's been against the spread, then take the 2.5.
I like the over. I think
it's low enough.
I think you
really
talk
low.
about how bad that game was last week between Cleveland and some other team. And, yeah, you had all those missed opportunities at the goal line that resulted in no points, at least on one of them. It was a 4th down stand. And then on top of that, all the missed field goals as well. And so, some of those get converted, then you're there. James Conner is going to be back for the Steelers as well. You're not asking too much there to get over 40 points.
Well, here's the only thing about the over, though, is that this is a Steelers secondary that really just shut down the Rams. Now, the way to do that was
the
pass
Rams
rush.
quarterback shut down the Rams.
Well, that's true, but don't discredit how good the Steelers pass rush has been. Because if there's one way to stop Jared Goff, it's with the pass rush. But this is a secondary that's really been solid all year long. And so is their run defense. So if they can stop Chubb, which is proved to be tough. I mean, the Patriots couldn't do it, and they're one of the best in the league against the run. But if they can stop
49ers
Chubb,
didn't really either, even though they destroyed Cleveland. Chubb still had a good game.
But if they can't get Chubb going and they have to rely on Baker Mayfield through the air, they're in trouble.
Hey, he's feeling it now. 2 touchdowns in that last game.
Yeah, feeling it. Yeah.
Low
bar.
Talking about DFS, it's kind of surprising. Nick Chubb is not the most expensive player. It's James
I was surprised by that.
James
I did
Conner
see that.
is $200 more. And then it's Odell. And then Baker, Samuel, Schuster. Then you get to Rudolph.
Especially with Cleveland being favored.
Right.
Usually Cleveland being favored would play into the salary and have Chubb be more expensive than Conner. And Chubb's just been overall significantly better than Conner to begin with. So, yeah, not much of a price difference there, but still.
So that's a full fade on Conner here from us.
Yeah, I don't think as the most expensive player on the slate I would go to Conner. But if you, if we think this is going to be an ugly game at 40 points, you can go Conner and Chubb if you think the value is there. Kareem Hunt caught some passes out of the backfield.
Well, I was just going to say, that has to be taken into consideration now, too. So he only had 4 carries, which, we weren't expecting him to take over the carries, but 9 targets. Mm-hmm. Like, if he's going to be getting a lot of the passing down work, that does take some of the appeal with Chubb. Not a lot, but those are targets that could have gone to Chubb, and they're no longer. Because it feels like they're going to use Hunt. I mean, he played, I think it was 51% of the snaps, whereas Chubb was around 85. So, obviously, it's a big difference in snap count there, but Hunt's in the mix now. And if that's someone that can take a quick check down from Baker Mayfield, then that's got to be thought about too, especially because on a PPR site like DraftKings.
It does take away a little bit from Chubb. Can you pull up Chubb? How many targets or receptions did he get? Did he have any in this game?
He had 4 targets, 2 receptions. Not a ton.
I mean, see, that's kind of like almost average for Chubb. He was getting around 3 catches a game, I think. So I feel like Hunt's work. I feel like they just added a new role in that offense for Hunt now that they have him. They didn't have that guy before.
Yeah, and you talk about like Callaway was inactive. Ricky Seals-Jones was hurt.
Yep.
Landry still got double-digit targets.
Yep.
Odell still got double-digit targets. Maybe their ceilings are capped a little bit, but they're still going to get at least their median average looks.
I think Kareem Hunt is going to cost Nick Chubb basically no carries, maybe a carry and a reception a week at this point. It's not going to be much. And what Hunt gets is this new Kareem Hunt role that they're introducing, not, okay, let's split these guys up more.
Right.
So
that doesn't make Hunt a bad play either.
So Kareem Hunt's at 58, and then Jalen Samuels is at 88. How are we, if James Conner is going to be the most expensive player on this slate, how is Jalen Samuels 88, and how do we figure his role will be with Conner coming back?
Because it's tough because it's not like Samuels hasn't been in the mix all season long.
Sure.
You know? So it's not like he's someone like Hunt who's now just coming into the picture. He's always kind of been in the picture. He just wasn't getting the carries or the targets that we thought he could potentially get. Because, you know, we didn't think it was going to be a 50-50 split, but I think we thought it'd be a little bit closer than what it has been, because when Connor's been on the field, he's still the workhorse. He's still getting the majority of the work here, where Samuels has been kind of sprinkled in. Obviously, the production as of late is because Connor's been out. Mm-hmm. And even when he's been out, it's not like Samuels has been dominating the carries. It's been more Edmonds, actually, and Samuels has been the guy to catch out of the backfield, not necessarily take the carries. So,
Samuels is way too overpriced for James Conner.
Oh,
return.
definitely.
You can't play him. Whereas Hunt, you can consider, given the targets and the receptions.
Yep.
He's almost Hunt's almost like a, not that this is his role, but he's almost like a cheap slot receiver play in this game or something along those lines.
So other notable salaries here. Interesting, again, given that the Browns are favored, but the Steelers' DST is $600 more. They're 52. The Browns are 46. Kickers, Boswell's 4. Seibert is 3,800. You got Callaway down at 2,800, who apparently Freddie Kitchen said will play this game, that it was a one-game thing. So that's something to look at as well.
There's two like angles that you can look at to this game, because sometimes it is helpful to look at DFS salaries and the sportsbook side of things and see where value is, and that kind of goes both ways. So you can either say you can trust odds makers and say, okay, the Browns are favored here, so why is their defense underpriced? Why is their running back underpriced? And build a lineup that way. Or you can look at the sportsbook side and say, well, I'm looking at this slate and I see Pittsburgh has the more expensive running back. I see Pittsburgh has the more expensive defense. Maybe they're worth a stab at the plus money or taking the points there.
Interesting. Anything else we want to talk about with this game?
I think one value, if you need to save some salary, is going to be Demetrius Harris, especially if Ricky Seals-Jones is out.
Sure.
Steelers have struggled against opposing tight ends, especially if you're feeling like the Browns are going to be playing behind in this game. I think Harris, being as cheap as he is, I think he's $4,200. Pretty good value if you want somebody who's going to get at least probably 4 or 5 targets in this game.
Has some yak ability.
Yep.
As they say. Sounds good. All right, let's get to our picks. Week 11. Who wants to start us off here?
Go ahead. I want to hear your big parlay for the week.
So,
stupid parlay.
This is kind of unfortunate because
he's already setting up for disaster.
No.
Oh, okay.
I want nothing more than to go right back to the heavy favorite money line parlay after its worst week yet. But if you try to do it this week, what are you going to take? Who are the biggest favorites? The Oakland Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings. Like, these aren't the teams that you're supposed to trust in these spots. We're supposed to be trusting the Patriots, the 49ers.
How about the
Ravens?
Yeah.
Good teams. So what you could do, I mean, the two teams that I kind of trust to win, bounce back, are the Saints and Ravens, which you can parlay for plus money.
Oh.
But those are just going to be my 2 picks against the spread. So there is no heavy favorite money line parlay this week because we don't trust the Vikings. We don't trust the Raiders as the big favorites on this slate. I don't even trust the Bills against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are not that bad. We'll get Janko's take there, I guess, at some point. But yeah, so just to recap, go over the two spots.
We know it's coming.
The Saints opened at 4.5. They've moved to 5.5. That's both, I think, sharp and public money moving that one. But what we saw last week was, I think the Falcons played offensively how I would have expected them to. It was all offense that stuttered for New Orleans, and the Falcons throwing something that we hadn't seen on defense at New Orleans. And if there's a perfect bounce-back spot, it's against that Tampa defense that's so susceptible to the pass. I know Drew Brees now going outside, but he's generally fine in Tampa. And Jameis Winston, you just can't trust him. He has the ability to have multiple turnovers against a really good Saints defense. So I'm going Saints minus 5.5. And as the second one, we're going Baltimore Ravens. There we are, minus 4. I just think that they're a very well-coached, solid on defense. The Marcus Peters pickup is huge. Lamar Jackson can pick you up any third down on the ground when you don't need, when what you're going for through the air isn't there at home. And the Texans teams, even though they come off a bye coming back from London, even after that week's rest, are 0-6 straight up, 0-6 against the spread this season. So even the week off hasn't been enough for them to catch back up. Houston obviously in that spot after the London game, so Baltimore minus 4 for me.
No,
not bad.
Thanks.
I just think it's a cop out that you're out of the heavy money line. After
I can make one for you as a third pick.
No. We don't want you to make one. We want it to be one of your best bets. You don't get 3.
Well, these are my
Nobody
best
else
bets.
gets 3.
Okay, third bet parlay. Saints Ravens money line.
We don't want to hear it.
I just said
after all these
everyone
weeks,
heard it.
Going back to the heavy money line parlay, gotta do it.
Because it's not there this week. It's not. There's no spot.
Well, then you should have stopped hyping it up so much because maybe a week like this was going to come along. Now you look like a coward.
It took 11 weeks.
I don't care.
I can give you one.
We don't want it.
That's my favorite. Buke's like, I'm not going to take the time to rebut anything else. He just says, I don't care. Then it's done.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah,
If I had another answer, I would say I
you might have said the truth. You might have won the argument, but I don't care.
No, he didn't win the argument. He would have won the argument if he actually made one. But was it a third one? Don't start.
I want you guys to have a bet going, and the loser has to get HFMLP on your knuckles. Have your favorite money line parlay tattooed onto your knuckles.
I mean, I wanted it written that I can never be released from this place because that's the only other job I'll ever get in my life with that on my hand. So if we can get that in writing, yeah, I'll do it.
Florida man. It's a very Florida man move.
It is.
All right, so I think there's 2 easy plays on the board this week.
Easy.
Yep.
How convenient.
Yep. So I'm taking them because
Wonder
why
if they're
not?
mine.
Panthers -5.5.
Nope.
I absolutely love that one against the Falcons. A very smart guy on Twitter. I saw this really good stat. His name was Steve Buchanan. He was talking about DJ Moore this week was going to see Isaiah Oliver in coverage. That alone should probably win the game for the Panthers. Isaiah Oliver has given up the second most yards after catch in the league out of all quarterbacks. And then David Moore, DJ Moore, which one is it?
DJ. David Moore is on the Seahawks.
You
should probably know the name of the wide receiver that's the single key to the Panthers covering this game.
The smart guy, Steve Buchanan, who tweeted it.
Yeah,
not
I didn't have the tweet in front of me, so
True.
I couldn't do it word for word.
Okay.
Is also second in the league, yards after catch. So he should absolutely just dismantle him in that matchup. So 5.5 for the Panthers seems a little bit too low, quite honestly. I think they should be able to handle the Falcons.
One matchup
No,
in a game
not
where 22 people are on the field at any one time.
That matchup in particular is wonderful. Like we really like that one. But overall, I think this is just too low.
Sure. Okay.
So I just don't have no faith in the Falcons at all. The other one I have.
You got to hope the Falcons didn't turn a corner on defense.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Dan Quinn is still the head coach. Nothing's going to change.
Something changed last week.
I mean, 1 week. We have not seen that all season.
I know.
So 1 week now things have changed.
2 becomes a trend.
Things haven't changed. I just want to make sure that it's not a trend by seeing it happen or not happen this week.
I'm going to let you know something. It's not a trend.
It's not a trend.
For all you listening at home, I put my hand on Julian's shoulder to tell him that. The other one, I don't care if Stafford's back or not. Cowboys -4.5. Too low. They should be able to handle the Lions in that game. That's too low. I was surprised that it's as low it is. I understand it's because we don't know the status of Stafford, but take it at 4.5 now.
What's Zeke going to do in that game? He's going to have a good game?
He should.
Or is it
they're
going to be
one of the worst run defenses in the league. Like from a DMS, it's interesting from a DFS perspective. McCaffrey
Said DMS.
DMs.
Slide into those DMS.
From a DFS perspective, Elliott is such an attractive pivot off of McCaffrey, who is at 10.5,
Right.
and then you have Elliott, which I don't have it in front of me, but he's
like
the second
9.
most. Yeah.
He's cheap.
So it's so
Cheaper.
interesting because if you're not going to pay up for McCaffrey, Elliott is such an easy way to go down and still get one of the more expensive tier guys and probably a better matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But you still get that safe floor with McCaffrey each and every week of over 30 points.
Sure.
And then against the Falcons, who really is not a run defense to fear, it'll be interesting how the ownership shakes out on that. So those are mine.
Those are yours. Here we go. These are mine. I initially had Dolphins +6. Changed it. Took it
I
out.
thought that you might be going there.
Still like it, but I found 2 other spots that I really like. One is during the heyday when I was making picks left and right, one of them were 3-point underdogs on the road. We have one this week in the Jaguars. They're +3, going to Indianapolis. Do not know who's playing quarterback for Indianapolis yet, which could change things if it's Brissett or a Hoyer. I think it might be Hoyer, though. We'll see. But we do know who's playing quarterback for the Jaguars. It's Nick Foles. Nick Foles is back. Not your
This
pick.
is a
I know.
this is a risky pick.
Why?
That's what
Tell
I'm
me
making
why.
noise about.
Because number one, we don't know anything about either quarterback. We don't know
Right.
what Foles is going to look like, and we don't know who the quarterback.
We don't know what Nick Foles is going to do. We need to roll the tape of his Super Bowl performance again?
Oh, stop.
Or what he was
Well,
doing
who
against the
knows what-
Chiefs before the throw that he made
please.
with half a collarbone?
Okay.
That sequencing might be off a little, but
You're also directly challenging what is a trend: 0-6 straight up and against the spread, coming off the London game.
What do
can't
you
wait.
think about that?
Can't wait. There's no heavy favorite money line parlay to, go up against.
Wow. He's going after you. You have nothing to say?
I have nothing to say. I gave my 2 plays.
God, you're soft
I also
today.
said that you can parlay them for plus money.
And here I am
On the money
to pander to the rest of my panelists here. I'm going Patriots minus 3.5.
Wow.
Because of that Super Bowl again. That's right. I'm still living 2 years in the past. They're out for
So
revenge.
both of your picks are based off of a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
One might call it a coincidence, but
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the guy with the best record on the show, by the way.
Yeah, what does that say about you guys?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Silence.
I wouldn't have clapped back
Crickets.
there, Bucks.
Patriots minus 3.5. I think they're going to be able to move the ball through the air as long as they just commit one tight end or one running back to block. Give Tom Brady that extra second.
Yep.
And I think they're going to find some stuff down the field. I think Edelman has a big game. And I like the Patriots there, minus 3.5. The half hurts a little bit, but I don't really trust the Patriots kicking game anyways. So we're talking about just 6-point touchdowns, and they string a couple of those together.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to your 1-on-1 week.
I would take a 1-in-1 week. I went 0-2 and 0-1-1 over the past 2. So
the regression has started right after you called it. The
you
show
guys
he wasn't here.
One day really need to learn what regression
The
means.
Patriots are 47-9 straight up off a loss since 2003, 40-16 against the spread. Take that to 2013. They're 18-4 straight up off a loss, 16-6 against the spread.
Making my argument for me. I love it.
That's why I said 1-1.
Sure.
No,
I was
1-2.
going to get one. Okay. Before we get to our stack, I am curious what you guys think about this whole Houston Astros business that's coming through. We talk baseball a lot on the Panel B podcast when it's in season, but hey, look, this is a pretty big story here. When you not only have reports from anonymous sources, you legitimately have a former player,
Right.
Mike Fiers, who, we know him as the guy who you stack against, and every now and then he'll throw a no-hitter, coming out and saying, no, this is legit. For a team that won a title that year, Bukes, I feel like you're hot or you're cold here. You got to take.
So this has always been kind of a rumor for a couple of years now that the Astros are kind of in this dwellings of stealing signs or whatever. We even saw it with, I think it was during the playoffs when, I'm trying to think of who it was, but somebody was tipping pitches. And there was a good breakdown of how they were distinguishing that they were doing.
Was that
he was
Blake
tipping
Snell?
the pitch. It might have been Snell, actually, but Bregman was doing something with his helmet, and that's fine. Like,
Weren't they banging on a trash can?
Something weird.
Well, that's going into what they did wrong. They had a camera. Someone's watching the feed in the dugout and banging on a trash can immediately between the time the catcher puts the signal down and the ball is thrown.
Yeah.
Like, no way that they were able to relay that outside of actually looking at a camera.
So this has been a story with the Astros for a couple of years now, so I wasn't really surprised. Now, it's totally Bush League. Like, there's no way around it.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, if it's in front of you, how are you not taking advantage of that? Okay, so this is how I kind of compare it. Let's say you and I are in trigonometry. Okay, I'll give you the smarts. I'm the idiot in the class. I don't know why I'm here. I'm just doing it for college credit, whatever, some BS.
Okay.
I don't have any idea what I'm doing, but you do. And I see your test in front of me. I'm probably going to copy off your test. Is it Bush League? Yeah. But it's right in front of me. If that's what they can have with the camera and they can figure it out, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the merit perspective, I think we're probably all going to be in agreement there. But what I'm saying is, okay, you get caught after the fact. Do you lose your degree?
I mean, you're not going to go back and rewrite the history books.
Reggie Bush would like a word.
You know what I mean, though? But, what's done is done.
Okay.
And that's how I feel it's unfortunate. It sucks how it played out, but you got to go back and change everything every time we find out some information. You know what I mean? It's done. The Astros won the championship. They're still the champions. Now it's something you have to look out for. I just don't, there's no reason to go back.
I feel like you have to look out for the Astros a lot because they're always in the middle.
Reminds me of another professional organization.
Yeah, Patriots. They're the Patriots of the baseball. As of right now.
Minus 5 or 6 titles, but yeah.
I mean, the Patriots are doing a better job at it.
Yeah, do your job.
Sure.
You have a take on it or no?
Not really. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it now.
There is nothing you can do about it.
That's all. So
well, you're gonna see. I mean, there'll be fines, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's fine. I'm sure any organization would pay hefty sums of money to assure themselves championships. So I would just say, if you're another team, how many times have the Astros now been caught up in whatever, like stealing the computer data from like the Cardinals or whatever?
Yep.
Wasn't that the Astros years ago? Like. So watch out for the Astros. Don't let them steal your signs.
The weird thing for me is the timing. Why is Fiers coming out with this now? Like, he's still active in the league. Like, it's very odd timing. Like, for somebody who's still in the league, still going to be on another team, would you feel good about signing this guy now? Like, somebody who just basically snitched on another team. Like, the timing is so odd.
Yeah.
Like, he's not retiring that we know of. He's still going to be in the league, and now randomly you come out and be like, oh, by the way, a couple years ago, we were stealing signs.
Yeah.
Why? Why now?
I mean, I think anytime you try to dive into morality in sports, it's murky waters here and difficult to say. Like, why? I mean, my initial reaction is, why should Mike Fiers be the one who's punished for basically not denying it and saying, yeah, it was wrong?
Yep.
But here we are, where I totally see the validity in why you would bring that up, because, the keep it in the room is a thing that people love to say in sports. So, we'll see what the fallout is. I think, this event and the events, or with the sports, the reporters and things, during the World Series and leading up to the World Series, like, the shine is off the Astros.
Yeah.
I remember when they traded for Greinke and like praising them, right? Because they built the team the right way, right? You go through the tough years to amass the prospects, and then you spend the money when you can. And that is still all well and good, but you can tell that to get to that point, you have to prioritize winning over everything, and numbers, that are going to lead you to winning over everything. And clearly that's led to some very bad, morally bad decisions.
Yeah. It's just, to me, like, sign stealing, even though the way he did it was shady, it's just kind of part of baseball. Like, guy's on second base, he's looking into the catcher to see if he can pick up something so he can alert the hitter.
Right.
Like, it's just kind of part of the game. This is a whole different
Right.
avenue.
Well, see, the issue there is that, again, like, how quickly can he relay that versus if someone's literally watching it on the, So, robot umps,
Yeah, let's get baseball more robotic. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Otherwise, I don't care about this story, and I don't think there's anything you can do other than fines.
Oh, I'm sorry, this doesn't interest you.
Well,
it's not that it's not interesting. It's just like,
I think it's a pretty hot topic.
Hey, man, for baseball, let us have this. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's more interesting, like you said, that Fiers is like choosing right now to.
Well,
see
that's what boggles my mind.
Basketball, you could get one guy tweets an emoji in an Instagram comment, and all of a sudden it's 5 cover stories. And
we got an article up on the DraftKings playbook.
Yeah, well, easy there. Don't put words in my mouth. Let's go to something fun though. Our Florida man stack.
Oh boy,
this is going to be pretty wild. But basically, if you forgot. We're going to start with Edlow here. He's going to read 4 Florida Man headline-type news articles. We have to guess which one is fake. This was brought on because Steve Buchanan is our resident Florida man.
Thank you.
And he really takes a lot of pride in it. His Florida Man story is going to be like, Florida Man voted Man of the Year.
I don't have a lot of talents or things I can, talk about in life, but this is one of them. Julian's still researching.
All right,
I just don't even know which ones to pick.
You pick out funny ones.
They're all funny. I've
been
like laughing out loud at them.
So share them.
Wow, seems like a good idea. All right,
share them.
Bukes is going to kick us off. Show us how it's done.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Contractor fakes his death. Okay. So this guy charged a customer $13,000 for renovations they were going to do at their home. Didn't do them. So then the people were like, what the hell? What's the work? Let's start getting a hold of this guy.
Yeah.
So they're texting him nonstop over and over and over. What's going on? What's going on? They finally get a text back. It's from the guy's daughter. I'm doing air quotes, daughter, saying that the contractor has died.
Okay.
He's no longer on this earth. So the people are like, well, this is BS. There's no way.
Yep.
So they actually staked out his house. And they saw him, obviously, in the house. So then charges are pending.
Yep.
They're suing this man for that money. And I'm sure he's going to get something else because, I don't know, faking. I don't know the laws about faking your death, but I feel like it's frowned upon. You're not going to be able to do that. This is my favorite. And this is obviously one of the real ones because I just gave it away. But this is what spurred the whole thing. And this is why I was so excited about it. So
we now got a 33% chance of getting the right one.
I tried to fake my own death once when Janko wanted me to do a hockey blurb on DK Live.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work out.
Didn't work.
That's
Because you were sitting one row in front of him.
So this guy's at his home. He's an elderly man, and two AT&T vans pull up, and they're doing work in the area. He's not pleased that they're there. So he goes outside and supposedly politely asks them to please move the vans.
Okay.
They said, we're only going to be here for a few minutes. We'll leave. The guy goes back inside, gets a pistol, shoots out each one of the tires, reloads the gun, then starts shooting inside the vans and tries to shoot the radiator in both the vans. Meanwhile, the AT&T guy, who's probably on an AT&T phone, is calling 911.
So he doesn't have service.
I would hope so. Calls 911, said, there's a man shooting the van. The guy goes, yeah, this is my address. I'll be inside. So they came and arrested him just because he was in front of his house. Like, there was nothing they were doing. He just didn't want them in front of the house.
Okay.
Okay, so there's that one.
These are Florida Man stories. I was going like more Florida Man headlines.
Yeah, I got just like headlines. It's fine.
Yeah, but
it's fine.
keep going.
Steve wants to animatedly describe it.
Yes.
I just hope his lie is as,
A lot of detail.
Yeah, has as much detail.
Well, I figure you want a little bit of backstory.
Okay.
So this guy gets released from jail in Florida. I think it was Pensacola or something like that.
Sure.
He was literally arrested 15 minutes later because he was in the prison parking lot trying to steal a car to leave. So, like, you're released, you went through the whole thing, goes out into the parking lot, tries to steal a car, and they just like, all right, we'll come back.
Yeah.
He couldn't even last a few minutes. The last one, this boggled my mind. This guy tried to do a 7-leg heavy money line parlay. It was minus 120, and it didn't hit because 6 of the legs didn't hit, and he couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. He was so upset.
Wow.
That was going to be my
Which
fake.
one is not true? Because actually, they all are true.
Well, Edlow doesn't live in Florida.
I don't.
Massachusetts,
And we've
man.
never had more than 2 legs not hit, so as soon as you said 6 legs didn't hit, that was an obvious lie.
A 7-leg parlay to get to minus 120 though. Wow.
That's what he does. That's literally what he does.
I've
And
made
it's
some
so
of those.
ridiculous.
I've made some of those before.
A lot of college.
They usually hit.
Early season college
Okay,
action.
they usually hit, but you're not even like, whatever.
Standard juice.
All right.
Dumb.
Okay. Mine's going to be much shorter.
That's
Sorry.
fine. We're on a deadline.
Florida man attempts to leave store with chainsaw stuffed down pants.
Okay.
There's a video of it too.
Oh,
It could not be more obvious that there's something extremely large going down this man's entire leg. There's like even a bit of chainsaw sticking out the bottom of his, like by his shoe.
Okay.
So that probably wasn't going to work out for him.
So also probably not fake if there's video, but okay.
Well,
Might not. Maybe it's not in Florida.
had some hedges to trim.
yeah. Sticking with the
Easy.
Sticking with the pants theme.
Whoa.
Florida man arrested with quote unquote active meth lab in his pants. I don't know how that
That's
sounds
a great
like a
pickup
big
line.
setup. A lot
watch
of
Breaking
things
Bad.
that
That's
you're
impressive.
cooking, boiling. I don't know how you
I'm
fit all
feeling some
that.
chemistry between me and you.
Yeah, I don't know how you fit all that in there, but this guy did. All right, let's see. Where is it?
He's researching
No, I just have them all listed out here.
on a website.
Elderly Florida man caught pleasuring himself in a McDonald's parking lot. Claims his privacy was invaded.
If he lives in his car, then that
What?
is his home, right?
There actually is a guy who lives in the Wonderland parking lot.
Could not shock me less.
Right. It shocked me. I parked next to him.
While he was taking a shower.
Well,
And he said, hey.
He was there when I went in the morning, and he was there when I came back at night. It was during one of my Sunday shifts when I'm here 12 hours. He waved to
He
me.
said, hey, you're invading my privacy. Come on in. Grab a
Get off
seat.
my lawn.
All right.
Sorry, parking space.
Florida man arrested in line of fast food place ordering 7 3-ways. Claims he just wanted roast beef sandwiches.
Wow, we're really leaning into trying to mask this one, huh?
Have you tried that yet?
No.
Why? See,
I
like,
have.
I was thinking about bringing it in. Like, bringing one in for you. Like, I was actually going to spend some money on you and bring it in for you. But then it might be, like, kind of gross and soggy.
It's probably gross and soggy right when you order
The second
it.
you get it.
That's like any sandwich with condiments on it. Condiments? I said it wrong last time. Condiments. It's
did
like
you
any
say?
sandwich.
You did not say condoms this time. Good job.
No,
I was gonna say,
condoms last
there's
time.
only one word you can mix it up
Condiments.
with. Florida man probably confuses condiments and condoms all the time.
Can you just try it?
Maybe.
Like, what's the problem? Like, what? You don't do anything else except lose money and, get mad at the television. At least have a roast beef sandwich in the process.
Right.
Mayo, barbecue sauce, and cheese.
That doesn't sound like my type of combo.
Okay, but let's do a heavy line. Whatever. I can't even talk.
Well, now I feel like I just have to make up like an obvious one for mine because I
You don't
actually
have to.
masked one. But all right,
That's fine. I'd like to actually
yeah,
try
let's
and guess
actually play
once.
the game. huh?
Florida man watches Bills win the Super Bowl. That's a lie.
My uncle lives in Florida, so he's a
right.
big Bills guy. There's a lot of Bills fans in Florida.
Yeah, all retired
They'll
old
be in
bags.
Miami this weekend.
Yeah, well, you spend your life busting tables, and then, you gotta need a nice place to rest the bones. All right, here we go. Quick headlines: A Florida man ... One was naked and armed with a crossbow, claiming aliens were after him.
I know that's true.
2 allegedly shouted Bortles as he threw a Molotov cocktail at a boat. 3
Might be true.
sentenced to 21 months in jail for smuggling Australian cockatoo eggs into the U.S.
Gotta be true.
4 shot another Florida man in the foot after he refused a shot of alcohol from the gunman.
Bortles.
Bortles. Gotta be the Bortles one.
Yes. That is from, if you've seen the TV show The Good Place, that is actually from that. There's a big Bortles guy from Jacksonville.
I have not seen the show, so I
haven't.
don't get the reference, but I'll take your word
I
for
figured neither of you
I'll
saw the
also take
show,
your
but
word.
all right. Hope
it.
that
You
can,
know so much about me.
we spend a lot of time in this room. I hope you
We do.
realize.
That
But
we do.
Pro tip for everyone out there: the other 3 of them, you just Google Florida man and then your birthday. All 3 of those happened on my birthday, one year or another.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
amazing.
lot of Florida stories out there.
A lot
I
of
didn't
Florida
do
men
that,
out
actually.
there.
Some other honorable mentions: Florida man flashes buttocks at IHOP after impersonating a police officer to get free food. That's how the headline reads, Bucks.
But who says buttocks?
Headlines.
Buttocks. Buttocks.
Buttocks.
No, that's not true at all.
But
Buttocks.
Heavy
money line parlay. There was another one
buttocks,
where
that's a funny way to say it.
this guy attacked a woman with sweet and sour sauce. Like was hucking them at her.
wow.
Wow.
Florida man steals $33,000 worth of rare coins, cashes them into a Coinstar machine for $29.30.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
Florida woman.
A big thing of change to the Coinstar machine. Yeah.
Florida woman holds up mail truck with toy gun, flees on tricycle.
I think I saw that in the town.
Yeah.
I think they did that in the town.
Florida man interviewed for a job at Kohl's. Moments after the interview, he was caught shoplifting 2 pairs of women's running shoes from the same store.
I need to bring home something to the lady. Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Florida men, multiple,
Okay.
attack ice cream man who wouldn't take $20 bill for pickled sausage.
What's a pickled sausage?
I don't know. It was 3 men trying to pay for a jar of pickled sausage with a counterfeit $20 bill.
Oh.
And when the ice cream man questioned them about why they were trying to buy a jar of pickled sausage, they pulled out a gun.
This list of top Florida man stories does have the one you brought up about a guy being arrested breaking into a car right after getting out of jail.
Amazing. It's incredible. I'm not making it up.
This last one would definitely get edited out by the producers, so I won't say it. I'll wait till we're off air, and then I will say it. Find us on Twitter. Tweet at JankoDK. I will spread the information there.
Gives out his handle.
I have an update on
What, news or Florida men?
Florida men. The Florida man trying to steal a chainsaw in his pants tried to do it with shorts on, not even long pants, which makes it 10 times better. I was wondering why I was seeing something sticking out of his jeans. It's because he's wearing big baggy jean shorts.
I was going to say kids these days in their shorts, am I right? Like
So yeah, that's an update there.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Florida man offers police officer $3 and chicken dinner for sex.
Oh! See, I could be persuaded.
That's going to end the show.
That's going to end the show. Never forget, ladies and gentlemen, that the odds and lines are subject to change. Please see website for actual odds. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and would like help, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for Florida man Julian Edlow, for Florida man Steve Buchanan, for Florida man Alex Jankowski, we will see you guys next time.